Hi, welcome to Good Feet.
Hi.
Is this your first time in?
It is.
Awesome. Come have a seat.
Okay.
So I'm Daniel.
Laura,
Nice to meet you, Laura. What
meet you.
brings you in today?
my feet are hurting, my back hurts a lot.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, you are in the right place. You're going to feel better immediately walking in these supports today, okay? So let's build a profile for you. First, you said Laura. Mm-hmm. Great. And is it L-A-U-R-A?
Yes.
Cool. What's your last name, Laura?
Westcott.
Ooh, you're going to have to spell that for me.
W-E-S-T-C-O-T-T.
And what's the best phone number?
503 544
Great.
9565.
Cool. And best email?
Laura@gmail.com.
And what's your zip code?
97222.
Okay, so you talked about how your body hurt and your feet hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first I want to talk to you about your feet, okay? When you talk about your feet hurting, if you can help me just figure out kind of where those areas are, you're going to see these little circles. Let's just touch and talk about those different parts that are hurting you the most, okay? So let's start with your left foot. Which of these areas are bothering you the most?
I get a lot of cramping through the arch.
Oh my gosh, how long has this been going on?
A couple of years.
For a couple of years. And what have you done so far to try to help take care of that?
Pain ointment, stretches.
Okay. Have you had any success with any of those?
Temporary.
Okay. What would you say on a scale of 1 to 10 is the level of pain that you're dealing with in those areas on a day-to-day basis?
Maybe a 4.
Maybe a 4? What's it when it's at its worst?
5, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe a little worse.
And ever any pain up in the toes or the balls of the feet?
Sometimes in the ball of
In
the
the ball
foot.
of the foot?
Yeah.
How long have you noticed that pain there?
Oh, it's probably just from being on my feet at work, so years.
For years, okay. Just kind of wear and tear over time?
That's what it feels like.
And what's a pain level that we can indicate on there? 0 to 10?
A 2.
About a 2? Is that just kind of consistent 2 day to day? Is it worse more at the end of the day?
More worse at the end of the day if I've been on my feet all day.
Is 2 like the worst that it would get to, or would it get a little bit higher than that?
I feel that it would stay at a 2. It gets more painful through the arch.
Through the arch towards the end of the day?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about the right foot here? Are you having similar areas of discomfort or pain, or is there other areas as well?
It's pretty much the same.
The same?
Yeah.
And about the same amount of time, or did it start in one foot, then go to the other over time?
I notice it more often in my right foot.
More often in the right? Are you right foot dominant? Do you know?
I am. I think I am.
And you said through the arches, it's been about 4 years and about a 4 or 5 pain level. And then on the ball of the foot, you said it's been for
Like forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. You are in the right place, okay?
Good.
You are definitely going to feel better today, okay?
Good.
So let's talk about the body. You talked about your back hurting. When we talk about the back, are we talking more like low back, lumbar, the mid back, or the upper?
It's pretty much the whole back.
Okay, geez.
But the worst is the lumbar.
Okay. How long have you had pain there?
About 15 years.
Is it like trauma induced, or is it wear and tear over time?
It's both. I
Okay.
had an accident and I have a torn disc.
Oh no.
And I get sciatica, but then it's just also wear and tear.
Over time. So what have you done to try to take care of that?
Physical therapy.
Okay.
Acupuncture, massage, chiropractor.
Have you had success with these treatments like physical therapy? I'm sure they're helping you strengthen the muscles in your back. Have you had some great success doing that?
I have, but there's kind of been valleys and peaks with it.
Right, maybe not consistent with it, or it's just it's effective for a little bit of time and it kind of goes backwards over
Exactly.
time. Okay. And when let's talk about the low back, because that's where it's really getting you. When it's at its worst, what's the pain level
10.
for you? Oh, geez. Kind of put you down for a day, huh?
Yeah, or more.
And you said it mostly is the low back, but it also affects that mid and upper back, right?
Correct.
Has it been something that started in the low back, then progressed upwards, or did it kind of start along the whole spine at the same time?
I think it actually started in the low back,
In the
and
low
it
back.
seems like it,
Just kind of ever since that accident?
yeah.
Okay. What's a pain level, would you say, for that kind of mid to upper back? You said the 10 is on the low back. What about the
Maybe
rest?
7.
Oh, so still pretty up there, right? When did you stop doing physical therapy, or is that something you still do?
I was doing it regularly up until about 6 months ago, and now I just go back occasionally
Okay.
to kind of maintain.
And what about the rest of the body, Laura? Let's talk about the ankles, knees, and the hips. Any pain in any of those areas?
Pain in the hips.
Okay, both?
Yep.
Left and right? Is that since the accident as well, or is that
Yeah, it feels
something else?
related.
Okay.
Because I have recurring sciatica, so
Jeez.
that pain will kind of go down into my hips and down into my legs and feet.
And kind of
Just
instead of
keep on
work,
going.
Work all the way
Yep.
down, yeah. And you're working on your feet day to day? Okay. So the pain in the hips, you said the backs was like 7 to 10 depending on the area. Where are we at with the pain level on the hips?
Probably a 6.
A 6. And the knees?
The
How
right knee.
the right knee mostly? And how long has that bothered you?
About 6 years.
Okay. What happened there? Was it
I
an
fell.
injury or?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you fall onto that knee and hurt it, or?
Yeah. Popped the bursa
Jeez.
underneath my kneecap.
What does treatment look like for that?
It's done.
Okay, you're
Yeah.
done there, but you're still kind of having some struggles with that knee?
Occasionally, yeah.
Occasionally, is that like every couple of weeks, once a month?
About once a
every
month.
week? Okay. When it is acting up and bothering you, what's a pain level on that?
Maybe a 3.
Maybe a 3?
Mm-hmm.
Does it hurt you more through activity, or is it more random than that?
It's pretty random.
Pretty random?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How are your ankles doing?
Compared to everything else, pretty
We're
good.
going to find a good spot. We're going to find a good spot. Okay. Silver linings,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay. Well, cool. So now that we've gained a good understanding of kind of what's going on with your feet and your body, let's talk about day-to-day activities. You talked about being on your feet for work. What do you do?
Retail.
Retail, yay! Yeah, so hard flat surfaces,
Yep.
on your feet all day long. Do you do any heavy lifting with that?
Yes.
Yeah. What about ladders?
Yes.
When you're doing lifting, is it every day you're doing some lifting? Is
Yeah,
it more
every
occasional
day.
than that? Okay, jeez. And what's a typical work shift for you? Are you standard 8 hours, or is it more 10 to 12 hours?
About 8.
About 8 hours? Okay. And at work, I see you're in kind of these flats here. What other
Yeah.
types of footwear are you in?
Pretty much a dress shoe.
Okay, so
most
mostly dress
times.
shoes.
Yeah.
What about any outside of work? About any other styles of shoes, like athletic shoes or boots, sandals or flip flops?
Athletic, boots, sandals.
Okay.
That's about it.
What are you more often found in outside of work? Is it more the athletic shoes, or do you stay a lot in the dress?
More of the dress category, like boots and sandals.
Okay, cool. And what about socks? I see you, are you wearing a no-show here? What other types of socks do you wear? Like compression socks, wool, cotton?
Like cotton, wool, compression.
How often do you wear the compression socks?
Well, more when I'm just wearing athletic shoes.
Okay. Do you find it to be more comfortable to do that?
Yeah, it feels good
Okay.
when it has a little bit of arch support in it.
Help some of that pain and that you get in the arches in your feet? Great. So now let's talk about the fun things that we do in our life, right? So outside of work, what do you like to do? Any active life?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you do?
I like to hike
Cool.
and bike and do yoga, basketball, and dancing.
Sweet.
And couch potato.
Right?
Make
Who's
sure
not a
that-
couch potato
that-
throughout
that
their
It
day?
doesn't want to let me.
I call that the Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
Right? So how often are you going out? I mean, you're fairly active. How often are you hiking or biking?
Hiking not as often,
Okay.
but maybe once a month. Biking once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week. And are you outside or do you go to a fitness
Outside.
center? Okay, cool. And yoga, how often are you doing that?
A couple times a month.
A couple times a month. I imagine barefoot in yoga, hiking shoes, and then do you clip in with the cycle shoes or do you just use a
I'm not
tennis
that
shoe?
serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how often are you playing basketball?
About once a month.
About
just
once a
kind of
month?
for fun.
Okay. And dancing, is that like going
every day.
out? Okay. Just living everyday life. Is there anything that you feel like you are not doing that you would want to because of what you are dealing with the pain in your feet or your back?
Yeah, I'd like to do something a little bit higher impact, like running or even tennis. It's just with the impact to my back. My doctors recommended that it's not the best activity for me.
Yeah. Like you said, just not heavy impact things. So you talked about running and
Tennis.
Tennis. How long has it been since you played tennis?
I don't really play tennis.
Okay.
I just want to.
Okay. Awesome goal.
Yeah.
So we've talked about work, we've talked about play. Now let's talk about your downtime, your Netflix and chill time. So are you wearing shoes around the house?
Sometimes,
Great. How often is sometimes?
like half the time.
Like half the time? So great. And what about the pain that you feel in your feet? Do you ever notice pain getting out of bed in the morning or is it more towards the end of the day?
Sometimes I get Charlie horses in the morning.
Okay.
So I'm feeling like cramping in my feet and in my calves.
So tell me, let's talk about sometimes. How often would that be?
About 3 times a week.
Oh, so I call that pretty frequently. To me, sometimes like once a month or something like that. So, okay, so getting Charlie horses and cramping in the feet. You ever notice that's more after a day of activity versus a day of Netflix and chill? Or is it more random?
Yeah,
than
it's
that?
more after like a long day at work,
Okay.
and then after I've been down for a while, or getting up in the morning.
Okay, man, you're gonna feel so much better in these supports today. You're really gonna feel a lot of relief in those arches, okay?
I hope so.
So what about the surfaces around the home? I imagine you probably have hardwood or tile, somewhere linoleum. Do you have any carpeted areas in your home or is it all hard surfaces?
It's all hard surfaces.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've kind of gotten an understanding about who you are and what brought you in, the next thing I want to do is we're going to get some prints of your feet.